And with only 2 minutes and 35 seconds remaining on the practice charts, now we are gearing up for our first race in the inaugural season of the OSRL Friday Night Supercar Series here in Phillip Island. And where else to start this season but the homeland for these cars? It is Australia. And the Holdens and the Mustangs are getting ready to gear up for the first time in racing order. And as it stands, we've got a total of 10 drivers within 1 second of your practice leader on pace. Goes down from Rudy Valentine in the first position, Tyler Williams in second, River Page rounding out the podium for now right behind Valentine in pit road, all the way down to Isaac Johnson, the final driver in the top 10 on pace. We have 13 drivers getting ready to take on the Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit, and every one of them looking to be a contender for the victory. A very close spread of lap times. The best lap time so far, 131.203. And all the way down to position number 10 with Isaac Johnson. He's down to 132.110. And the draft going to play a factor on these long straightaways. We saw Alex Anderson for a moment going down one of them. And with such a long section of the track, uninterrupted, full throttle, and a lot of mostly powered down turns here in Australia, it's going to come down to draft. It's going to come down to teamwork. It's going to come down to who can play the strategy out correctly, not just by being the fastest driver, but being the brightest driver on strategy, lap in, lap out. We'll see whether or not a guy like Anderson's able to make it happen here in the FIFA World Cup number 67 machine. Adam Sweet right now fourth on the charts in his all-green Holden Commodore. And a very distinct look for that 139 machine, as the 70 machine of Harry Grindell not appearing to be on the track, fifth on the charts, on board here with the 139. And this Holden getting ready to get to action. As you can see, the onboard telemetry looks to be in gear 3. And unlike a large majority of similar bodied cars like stock cars, these things were meant to go on these road courses and meant to travel through them efficiently. A minute and a half over a multi-mile circuit or road course. Unprecedented for most stock car-like machines. And these, the Ford Mustangs, the Holden Commodores, they are used to it. Practice is over. And it is Rudy Valentine, top of the charts, as we're looking at his Ford Mustang from the perspective of River Page. The 78 has the pace to beat going into qualifying. Let's find out who can capture the pole position here in Phillip Island for the first race of this season. Who else but Rudy Valentine to lead us off, the champion of the E-Mod Series, as the season opener 200 getting ready to roll for the first time. 9 minutes and 44 seconds remain, and this is group qualifying. Let's hone in on one of these guys. Jack Painter in the mix here, and it looks like Isaac Johnson leads them all out. It's Johnson. Then from there, Chase Schaefer getting out right now. Alex Anderson now chasing the Valentine machine, or rather chasing the 34 of Tyler Williams at the moment. And the majority of these guys getting out as we speak. Harry Grindell getting out for the first time here. Jack Painter on his way right behind Anderson, DeWalt number 97. However, reports appear Painter will not be racing tonight, will be the off-track admin for this event. And the main race, 45 laps of action here, as Harry Grindell is still on his way, and it looks like Trippin Davis there as well in the 96 machine. Former IORA Premier Series champion being chased down by Harry Grindell's Holden. And right behind them, Jonathan Oates, the owner of OSRL, in the 73 Creative machine. And waiting for the laps to get counted here. This first lap will count as they do pass the start-finish line. But the next lap by is when qualifying really picks up the pace. So it's all about getting your tires warmed up here. This three-car bundle, Jack Painter in the middle of it, still chasing the number 33 of Isaac Johnson. And as these guys get ready, it's all about preparing yourself correctly for qualifying in that first lap. The tires are warmed up, but you don't want them burned out. So as long as you have them at the perfect feel, the perfect temperature, you're good to go. It's going to be Williams leading Isaac Johnson, Jack Painter, and Alex Anderson to their first qualifying lap. And it's amazing to see a bundle, not just by flicking through the perspectives of driver to driver, but seeing them actually compete against one another on the track, pushing it to the limit. Johnson could go just a bit wide there. Jack Painter opting to go to the inside of that turn, as right now Rudy Valentine leads with 135, chasing down, and it looks like not effectively chasing down Chase Schaefer. Gonna go into the grass there. This lap all but evacuated. And Rudy Valentine gonna exit that car. Most likely the tires are getting beat up there as he heads into the gravel trap, and Chase Schaefer still on his way. Right now, Schaefer, as it stands, does not have a lap counted. That time by, that lap for him would have actually put him on the top of the charts with a 134. That did not make it there, but now River Page second on the charts by 0.3 of a second, and Page right now in his Ford Mustang still pushing to find just a bit more grip. And you would hear the complicated process, switching gears, getting onto the accelerator and getting off it. And the 213 Simware 024 machine having a bit of trouble. The Blackwood Builders Group machine building a foundation toward better laps as the night goes on. 6 minutes, 48 seconds to find that sweet spot. And it looks like backing it down just a bit. Page going to put the pedal to the metal once more. And still having a bit of trouble here. Although he's already put one good lap in, Josh Stoltz going to pounce on it. And he's now going to have a pole position set by 2 seconds that gets very, very close to keeping it up there. But now it looks like Tyler Williams leads the pole position provisionally by 0.6 of a second over Alex Anderson. Currently in second, Chase Schaefer going to take Anderson's second spot by 31/1000 of a second. And Schaefer looking to have the pace here. The Monster Designs number 9 team machine joining halfway into practice, and now having a bit of an issue going off of the track. But nonetheless, seems to absolutely have the pace to contend as Jonathan Oates puts it up to 6th. Rudy Valentine waiting to get back on the track. He absolutely is on it here. And remember, his second lap invalidated as he did go off the surface, but he had the pace to beat in practice. Who's to say he won't have it in qualifying? Bird Page 024 machine on his way as well, up to 5th. And looking for just a bit more. Wesley Person puts it up into 8th in the number 7 machine. And it looks like all unsponsored, although colored, for that number 7 Holden Commodore. Jack Painter down to 10th. Triffin Davis still looking for a bit more himself. First lap and second invalidated. Back to back. Lap 3 for the 96 machine. And Davis is flying. The Pet Tour Company sponsorship on the rear wing of that 96 machine. As for just a brief moment there, that must have been Tyler Williams, although it does not look like it was. That was Rudy Valentine flashing right before our screen. And Valentine and Williams running the same paint scheme for slipstream signs and slipping through the pack. Valentine hopes to do, getting his way back up into the qualifying sort of conversation here. He is still down in 9th. Williams now on pit road. Chase Schaefer looking for just a bit more himself, still second on the charts. And Valentine going to come down to the stripe in just a few seconds time. And for Rudy Valentine, that is the lap that puts him up to second, right beside his teammate on the front row. And he puts Chase Schaefer back down to 3rd. And now he's going to spin it out. Looks like he's going to go for one more run, getting himself on pit road immediately to get yet another fresh set of tires. Going for broke Valentine. He's going to have to if he wants pole. And Chase Schaefer choosing to opt, of course, for the long run here. Let's see if he can improve this time by. Coming out at the stripe at a 150-mile-an-hour pace. Not going to improve that time by. 9 seconds slower. Go for broke. Schaefer's going to have to do it here. And the 19 machine hugging those turns, eating the curbs. 19 Ford Mustang pushing as Page now in 6th. Isaac Johnson makes his way up into position number 5, and Alex Anderson is in 4th. 31,000's back still on Chase Schaefer. Jonathan Oates right now 8th position coming out of pit road. Josh Stoltz in 7th right beside him, and Stoltz not going to have to use the room that Oates provided him getting into the dirt there. The Can-Am 199 still on his way. Red Bull gives you wings, and right now he's going to have to wing it if he wants to get that pole. He is about a second and a half off. Just about 1,000 shy from that metric. For Page just setting his best lap that time by. Now he is within about 0.3 of a second from second position and within 1/10 of a second from that third spot on qualifying. Although it looks like time might be running out for Page here, coming back to pit road once again. And now it might be all for nothing. If he can't get across the start-finish line one more time to get one good lap in, he might just have only enough time to spare one more lap at full pace. Rudy Valentine still slowly but surely warming up his tires, and Valentine taking tire warmth very, very seriously here. Not a lot of drivers seem to be doing it to the same level as he has been in that number 78 Slipstream Science machine, slipping through the field. Rudy's been doing it quite well the majority of the OSRL season, whether it's the Premier Series or anything else. But Chase Schaefer puts it up to pole with a 130.521, and he is going to go into the gravel trap immediately after. He's up by 0.3 of a second so far. Will he be able to keep that? We are going to wait and find out, as Valentine ripping the high side, coming to another lap, timed and scored down to the front straightaway here in Melbourne. Let's see what he's got. And coming through, there we go. It is Valentine in the 78 machine, looking for just a bit more. 0.7 of a second. That's what he has to find. And this is it in qualifying. He's going to have one lap to go for broke here, as Jack Painter puts it up at the 4th in qualifying. Alex Anderson down to 5th. Johnson in 6th. River Page in 7th. And Josh Stoltz in 8th. Jonathan Oates in 9th. And Wesley Person in 10th. They don't appear to be on the track right now. Chase Schaefer, however, still appears to be. Rudy Valentine still going here. According to the metrics, he's just about 2 seconds under his average pace per lap. This could be a good sign. Let's find out. 0.7 of a second. A lot to get through here. He was the fastest in practice, but now Chase Schaefer seems to have found something. And he might be able to take this debut race by storm. Schaefer, if he's able to hold on to the pace here in qualifying, one hot lap means a lot, but when you have 45 laps stacked back to back to back, you've got to be consistent. And Schaefer, knowing that, we'll see how he plays this race out. Valentine coming through the final few turns, and you can see very slow corner coming through in the final segment, eats the curbs, hops just a bit. And now, it's all about keeping that momentum and preserving it all the way, coming down to the front straightaway. You can still lose time if you go through it slowly. And pushing all the way, going down to the outside curb. Valentine might be the only final serious threat for the pole position. Coming down to the start-finish line, 24 seconds to go. He'll have one shot after this, but he's only going to scrape 0.2 off. Not going to be able to make it happen that time by the 78 in 3rd, and nobody else seems to be close to Chase Schaefer. Anderson, this is his last lap, won't be able to make it back to the start-finish line once more. Only a few drivers able to do so, and it looks like the last of those drivers will be the 78 machine of Valentine. If he wants to get a bit more, he is going to be the last man to do so. 2 minutes, 10 seconds remain for the drivers who still have one more shot at it. Anderson coming across the stripe, getting the graft from River Page. Page goes off to the dirt. Looks like dirt is not going to stop him from putting the power down, but he will slow it down. Anderson up to 3rd. Big time move, puts himself in front of Valentine, and that's his fastest lap, only 34 thousandths faster than the 78. Rudy has to put together a lap of the gods here. And currently, a 2nd and a 3rd up on his average lap. Gaining, he might just be, and he's pushing to the limit. This might not be Mount Panorama, but these V8 supercars still pushing through the hills of Australia like it's nothing. 4th gear, the final segment once more. All about that momentum, not taking it to the curb early. And down to the stripe once again. He goes all the way through the outside curb, and the stripe, he's going to reach it at 156 miles an hour. And for Valentine, no improvement. And that is all she wrote. 4th position, the best he's going to get. And nobody else here appears to be able to set a lap that will count. Painter already on pit road. And Valentine still looking for practice. And that is it. Qualifying is over, presumably, and as long as these guys stay on the track, we won't advance. However, it all came down to one driver, and that one driver is the number 19 machine of Chase Schaefer, and he is your first pole sitter in the Friday night Supercar series here in the Open SuperSpeedway Racing League. How about that? Schaefer gets it done with an incredible 1 minute 30.521 over Tyler Williams, 130.899, a deficit of almost 0.4 of a second there for the Williams machine. The 34 getting beat by the 19, and it is the Mustang on Mustang front row as we get set to go racing in Phillip Island. Timing and scoring going to be taken off for just a brief moment as we go through your starting grid for tonight's event. And the drivers loading in as we speak. Chase Schaefer certainly going to be happy about this. A lot of guys here, this is their first time racing these V8 supercars, as it looks like 5 minutes of warm-up that should be skipped. Whether or not these guys are allowed to use it, we will find out. And as we have these 5 minutes, we are going to go through your starting grid nonetheless. And of course, the man leading off, the 19 machine of Chase Schaefer with 1 minute 30.521. Tyler Williams in second with a 130.899. The 19 machine putting in a monster effort, leading the way here in qualifying. Next up, Alex Anderson with a 131.051 and Rudy Valentine with a 131.085 in the fourth position. And Valentine certainly looking for a little more as the race goes on. Jack Painter in the number 97 machine, 131.359. He's in fifth on the charts. Isaac Johnson, sixth on the board with a 131.613. Brewer Page in the seventh spot, now actually right behind Chase Schaefer on the track with a 131.699, rather a 669. Seventh, Wesley Person, a 132.3 flat. Eighth on the grid, that's your fourth row. Rounding at the top 10, Josh Stoltz with a 199 machine, taking himself with a 132.398. Jonathan Oates right beside him with a 132.527. Trevor Davis, 138.378. Harry Grindell, 143.463. And riding at the back of the field, shotgun for tonight's event, the 139 of Adam Sweet. No time, and he would be the only driver not to set a lap that was validated in qualifying. That'll be to his detriment. Everyone here seems to be especially close to one another on pace. And Chase Schaefer gonna have 3 more minutes to warm up before we get this race started. And everyone roaring through one last time. And I think these guys at most are gonna have 2 more laps of practice before the show gets on the road here. With only so much time before it all gets started, a driver like Chase Schaefer must wonder, can he keep the pace for the long run? That's 45 laps of action. We might get 45 laps without a break, without any interruption. It's always a possibility, and you never know. So you want to find out whether or not you just have a short run car. If you have a long run car currently, Schaefer still top of the charts here in this warm-up. 2 minutes and 20 seconds remain. And of course, the warm-up might not mean as much compared to, of course, practice and qualifying, but getting just a bit more time to understand how the car feels, it means much more of a difference than you might think. And with such a unique layout, such a unique track and unique car compared to what these guys are generally used to racing each other with, all the more practice time comes with its benefits. And Chase Schaefer appears to know this. His outlap 3 seconds faster than anyone else's. And the 19 still slowly rolling here. Harry Grindell on pit road. Looks like Tyler Williams coming out as we speak. Alex Anderson now setting his first legitimate lap. It's going to count as a 136.459. And Chase Schaefer, let's see whether or not he's going to bounce back here coming down to the stripe. And it looks like he'll be able to do just that coming to the start-finish line. Chase Schaefer going to be back on top by 5 seconds with a 130.9. Incredible driving by the 19 machine so far. Rudy Valentine right behind it with a 134.383. And Valentine now looking to get yet another lap in to try to compete with the driver of that 19 machine, because he is on a roll and nobody appears to be able to stop him so far. Whether it's qualifying, whether it's warm-up, the 78 and the 19 might be the 2 favorites going into this one. Both of them looking very fast before we get this race started. And Rudy going in, once again chasing down Schaefer, but Schaefer still trying to put a gap to him. Although both of which, these two look a bit slower in their fastest laps, their average pace. They look to be more than a second off of it. Nonetheless, Josh Stoltz puts it up to third here. Alex Anderson in fourth, River Page in fifth, and Jonathan Oates, the final driver to have a counted lap, is in sixth with 30 seconds on the table here in the warm-up. And riding on board, Jonathan Oates, number 73 Ford Mustang. And the Ford Performance banner hanging right over him. And looking to perform here tonight, Alex Anderson puts together a 130.543. Incredible job there for Anderson. And now he looks to contend with the best of them. Chase Schaefer coming down to the stripe this time by, gets into the dirt. This lap is not going to mean much. And the warm-up is over. Alex Anderson looks to be the fastest in it. Chase Schaefer, a close second. Rudy Valentine, a distant third. However, looks to have closed the gap just slightly. And that final lap, he hardly got to the stripe. 36 thousandths of a second behind your pole sitter. Lap 45 will be the conclusion of this race and a standing start to get us rolling here in Australia. Phillip Island Grand Prix circuit. And it is going to be a great show put on by every one of these guys. Engines, they'll be revving soon, and that's when you'll know the race is on here in Australia. The Supercars coming down on a Friday night for the first time this season, the first time this year. The show, it's going to be on the road before you know it. Engine's going to be revved up, and Chase Schaefer leading Tyler Williams and the remainder of the field through. And you can hear the first revs for some of these drivers standing on that starting grid. Alex Anderson right behind Schaefer, and Tyler Williams going to have Rudy Valentine not on the grid just yet, but he will be right behind the man in that 34 machine. And the Awesome 48 fan Hunter coming into the chat. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Means the world to have your support, as these drivers certainly looking forward to put on a show for every one of you viewers. Looks like right now every driver is on the grid, with the exception of Wesley Person, Triffin Davis, and Adam Sweet. Get the show on the road nonetheless in about a minute's time at the very most, even if they don't grid up. Not mandatory to have everyone going, so long as we wait an allotted period of time to see if they will enter. The engines still getting fired up slowly but surely. Williams in second, but it is Chase Schaefer who will be able to lead the way. Engine still firing here. And it looks like now you can see the flames right on the side of the Monster Designs machine. Still not clear to start. And it looks like one's going to blink out. That's Jack Painter. Painter's still there. And no confirmation just yet when we will go green. And they'll get the signal as soon as I do. Still, a few drivers still not on the grid. And as soon as the allotted period of time concludes, we will get this show on the road, as the engines will be fired for the first time. And it looks like now you can hear them once more. It's going to go off. The starting lineup, it's ready. Chase Schaefer's going to lead him to the green in the season over to 200. And he gets a masterful start. The remainder of the field just going to have to follow. Double file already. Isaac Johnson on Tyler Williams. And a big start for Johnson. Jack Painter chasing him. It looks like the 97 machine's going to be racing him. Everyone getting through clean so far. Jack Painter going off. That might be the end of his race already. We'll see whether or not he is off track adminning. Although it looks like that might have just been a mistake. And it looks like he might just race with the pack tonight. Alex Anderson, 13 seconds off already. And Chase Schaefer still leading as we see a little bit of action here. A big smoke up there. And it's going to be Wesley Person, River Page side by side. And they are still going. We're still green here in Phillip Island. Isaac Johnson falling down the order now side by side with Josh Stoltz. This is for third. Stoltz gets it. Chase Schaefer chased down by Tyler Williams here. 2/10 the difference between your top two drivers so far. 19 Monster Designs machine now getting ready to put on a monster effort to keep himself ahead of the driver in that 34. Isaac Johnson There in third, Jonathan Oates. In fifth, Harry Grindell, position number 6. And Vera Page in 7th is Rudy Valentine chasing him down. Valentine's start, not the best, as Jack Painter still on the track. Alex Anderson, 10th position right now, looks to be the last man on the track. The Wesley Person has parked it, according to timing and scoring. Chase Schaefer around for his first lap in the wide-angle shot showing every driver. And Schaefer leading lap 1 of 45 here. We're on to lap number 2. The 45 machine now leading by a total of 0.3 of a second as he goes off. Tyler Williams, your new race leader, and Chase Schaefer looks to have bottled the lead there. Now we have a new race leader, and he leads by 1.5 seconds. Chase Schaefer gets on back on the track, and now he's down into 8th. Not a good start for your pole sitter here, and he's not going to be happy about that one. Unbelievably, Chase Schaefer in the 19 machine now down into the 8th spot as Rudy Valentine goes side by side with River Page. Harry Grindell, 5th right now, chasing down Jonathan Oates in 4th, Isaac Johnson in 3rd, Josh Stoltz 2nd, and Tyler Williams now leading by a total of 2 seconds. Page having a battle here with Valentine. Valentine gets the better of him for now, 2 laps in. The new race leader coming across the stripe in just a few seconds as he gets to the final segment of this circuit. And he will lead lap 2 with a comfortable 2-second margin over Josh Stoltz. And he won't have to panic about this one, especially not for the near future, as Schaefer getting back to grips with his number 19 machine. And 19 is absolutely struggling after that one. Page right in front of him, very scuffed up on that right side, but he's still fighting hard. The 34 back down to the stripe. And his best lap so far, a 131.299. Stoltz to follow. Isaac Johnson, Oates, Grindell, Valentine, and River Page. Chase Schaefer there as well. And Chase Schaefer's lap not going to be validated. Alex Anderson currently the fastest lap on the track as he gets past Jack Painter, still up there on pace. Oates gets right by Isaac Johnson, and Harry Grindell going to do the same thing, and Rudy is following the both of them. Time to see who's going to pull the 78 machine through. It's a 4-car bundle here. Oates has the advantage over the majority of them. Isaac Johnson back down to the inside line, and Grindell has nothing left to do but spin right in front of Valentine. Big time incident here, and everyone's going to get through, but that Holden is damaged big time. A kamikaze for the kamikaze sponsored number 70 machine. And back down to 10th, Grindell goes. Chase Schaefer promoted up to 7th, chasing down a damaged River Page, and Rudy Valentine back up to 5th, although his rear end is destroyed. Almost looks like a NASCAR Cup Series car now. Unbelievable. And Valentine still goes on without any rear downforce to that 78 machine. He's not going to be happy about that one. Johnson, 4th right now, side by side with Jonathan Oates. Oates going to get the better of him, and now he is up into the 3rd spot. Josh Stoltz still hunting, but it looks like Tyler Williams pulling away. Now is a 4-second lead, just about, over the remainder of the field as we head to the 4th lap of 45. Oates in 3rd, and he's got the draft of Isaac Johnson to worry about. As Johnson, using it quite effectively, goes down to the inside line. Oates going to leave the door open, but he's not going to have to worry about it just one bit. Johnson's going to hold on, but he's not going to make a maneuver just yet. Down to the inside line, the 33 machine goes. Not going to be able to make anything happen that time by. Even though he is damaged, he's still putting up a fight, giving Oates a run for his money. And he's looking for money as well. And we'll see whether or not he's going to be able to get it. A $15 race sponsorship, and it looks like it's going to go back to the drivers to see who gets this victory. And these drivers pushing like it's the last lap, even though it's the 4th lap, and a lot of chaos so far. Williams leading over Stoltz right now. It's a 4.5 second lead, and he has over the 199. Chase Schaefer up to 6th, and very, very close to the damage. Rudy Valentine, but Valentine is still chasing down Jonathan Oates as if he has no damage, and unbelievably, Rudy's last lap, nonetheless, was a 134, and although he did lose time, he certainly isn't losing all too much. Let's look at the rear-end camera here and try to get an angle on that 78 machine and putting it into perspective. There's Rudy Valentine, an open rear view, and it really does look like a NASCAR Cup Series stock car compared to the winged perspective that we see of Jonathan Oates. And look at this! Valentine, with no rear end, is chasing down the 73 machine. And Oates is in trouble now. He's got a real beat-up machine chasing him down like it's a brand new car. It almost looked like it's NASCAR versus them V8s, and it looks like this V8, even though it's got no rear wing, is putting on a show, and it's remarkable to see. And it leads us to believe perhaps this could be netcode as Jonathan Oates goes off. Down to 5th, down to 6th. He's big time in the gravel trap. So is Isaac Johnson. Johnson far out, and he's going to be in a worse position than Jonathan Oates. Oates no. Now he's all the way down to 10th. And now he's in the back of the pack with Oates himself. Brigdell gets around. Painter gets around. Anderson up to 6th. And Page up to 5th. Rudy Valentine now getting some pressure from Chase Schaefer. Schaefer's up to 4th, Valentine up to 3rd, and Josh Stoltz being chased down. And Chase Schaefer put together the best lap of the race on that last lap of 131.1, and he is pushing to the limit. As while Tyler Williams does have a 6-second advantage over the remainder of the field, he's got an 8.5-second lead over Schaefer, and it is shrinking. 5 laps in out of 45. It's all about running your race. Not pushing it too hard, too early. Gotta be patient here. And Valentine now getting the pressure from a clean car. And although Schaefer did go off on that second lap, he's got a better car in a better condition compared to the 78. And he's going to have to play to the rules and play accordingly with Valentine. Although he is getting held up now, not going to be a good look. As Schaefer's lap that time by was a 131.2, still gaining just a bit on Tyler Williams. Schaefer down to the inside line. That time by Valentine trying to hold on. That 78 machine going to go way wide. Not off the track though. And Valentine going to have to leave Schaefer to the outside line, and he gets the advantage off of the inside once again. Rudy is pushing hard, and with all his might, the 78 machine still trying to hold on. And River Page looks to have an incident there. He's going to go off the track and come right back on Alex Anderson. Same situation. Anderson down into 10th. Rudy now down to the 4th. Trying to hold on here. The power cannot be put down on those straightaways. Rudy certainly has an understanding of how this car works, even if he does not have a rear end. Harry Grindell going to go down, and there's a big issue there for the 70 machine. And he's still trying to get it back together here. No caution. 10th position driver is now Harry Grindell once more. Jonathan Oates on his way, still sees the dirt right behind him. And Oates drives right through it. And the 73 of Oates watching as Josh Stoltz having some pressure from not one but 2 drivers. Chase Schaefer getting into the mix. And Rudy there as well as Isaac Johnson goes off the track a big time and gets right back on. Jack Painter in 5th here. And he is about 7 seconds off Rudy Valentine. Valentine only about a second off from the battle for position number 2. Schaefer chasing down Williams. That time he lost 0.3 of a second. And he's going to go down the inside line. New driver in position number 2. Chase Schaefer working his way back to the lead. And Stoltz just going to have to watch and wait for now. And Schaefer is absolutely the fastest man on this track. It's undeniable now. He's just going to have to put the pedal to the metal and gain every 10th of a second back that he lost. He's only 8.6 down now. Started that last lap 9 flat behind. Jack Painter off the track now going to be passed by Isaac Johnson. And Alex Anderson gets into the mix as well. Page down into 9th, and Harry Grindell is 6 seconds out in 10th. Having a load of trouble controlling that car. It looks like something might be wrong with that right front tire. Tyler Williams, 7 laps in. The leader over Chase Schaefer. Josh Stoltz in 3rd. Rudy Valentine in 4th. And Jonathan Oates in 5th. Isaac Johnson position number 6. And Alex Anderson in 7th with Jack Painter in 8th. And finally, Page and Grindell round out your field. And Harry Grindell is in a world of trouble. You can see it looks like something's falling off of that car. Just a few particles. But he's absolutely driving second off of the pace here. And he's not happy, as he's got a load of damage to that right side, even if it's in the front or the rear. Another goes off just off your screen. It's Isaac Johnson, and Johnson falls down to 9th off the track in the same spot once again. And 7 laps in out of 45, a load of incidents already. And the season over to 200 not beginning without controversy. Almost 50 miles in already. The way that it goes, Williams still leads by 8.5 seconds. Josh Stoltz can be passed by Valentine. That's for 3rd. A clean pass by the damaged 78 machine. And Rudy No fast repair here. He's just going to have to live with what he has as if it's fine. And he slides big to the outside line, but Stoltz not fast enough to capture. And this is a magnificent performance coming out of Rudy Valentine right now. The damage, it is noticeable. Absolutely, he might be seeing more of his rear view mirror now than what he saw beforehand. But that's the only advantage you're getting out of a car with no rear end. As you can see, the traction, it's much less. And Stoltz able to plant it right into the corner. Well, this is the man who's power sliding every single turn. Valentine still putting on a fight for this spot, trying to stay on the podium. Page right by Anderson, and Anderson having a load of trouble. And Alex Anderson, far off the pace, gets put down into 9th. Gets himself back going. Brewer Page grabs the spot he had, and that spot was 6th. Oates in 5th right now. Josh Stoltz is in 4th. And Rudy Valentine still right in front of him by half a second. Although now Rudy trying to build an advantage. Tyler Williams that time by 40 hundredths. A second faster. And let's see whether or not Chase Schaefer can match it. Last lap there that we just saw. Tyler Williams, a 131.6. This time by for Schaefer. It is going to be a 131.577. Faster than. He's just got to keep it consistent. Alex Anderson gets right by the 9th position machine. Now the 10th position machine of Isaac Johnson. Having a lot of trouble. Johnson going to have to keep himself in the game here. 9 laps in at a 45. And the cookie has crumbled as such. Tyler Williams leads Chase Schaefer, Rudy Valentine, Josh Stoltz, Jonathan Oates, River Page, Jack Painter, Alex Anderson, and Harry Grindell in 9th. The final driver on this lead lap is Isaac Johnson chasing the 70 machine down. As Chase Schaefer chases down Williams, and they're almost on screen at the same time for just a brief moment there. And unbelievably, Chase Schaefer back in frame with your race leader for only a moment. But that's more than anyone else can say. And coming to the stripe once again, Tyler Williams going to come down, and certainly this one is still within the 131 range. Maybe a bit slower. We'll see. Right now, it looks to be dead even with his average pace. This is an average lap from Tyler Williams, and this average lap looks to be faster by every meaning of the word compared to all but one of these drivers. Alex Anderson looking to have a load of trouble, and now he looks to be off of the track. Anderson looks to be down and out of this one as Tyler Williams comes down to the stripe, and that's a 131.429. Chase Schaefer going to come down to the stripe next, and for Schaefer, it looks like this time by will be a 131, but it will only be a 131.9. He loses half a second on your leader that time by. Unbelievable. But it looks like your leader is starting to pull away once more. Chase Schaefer now in front of Rudy Valentine, but Valentine still trying to pull away from Stoltz. They're still within a second of one another. And surprisingly, Rudy trying to pull it back in on Chase Schaefer. It's going to be a hard task. He's 3 seconds back as is. Going to have to push with all his might to do so. And Josh Stoltz still in frame here. And he's going to go way wide. Rudy's going to smoke it up, but he's still going to keep the power down. Now it's Stoltz down to the inside line. And not going to be able to make it happen that time by Rudy Valentine going to cut him off. And Rudy knows this could be the opportunity for the driver of that 199. And it's an opportunity he does not want to give away. Side by side for a moment, but now back to the chasing. The 199 chasing down the severely damaged Josh Stoltz, of course, in the catbird seat here for position number 2. And Rudy Valentine still hunting down this 199. And it's going to be hard for both of them to work with one another here. Rudy goes way wide. Stoltz going to have to go to the outside line trying to make a pass work. Does not work that time by. And side by side, it's a Holden. Not in the picture. It's 2 Mustangs as Jonathan Oates goes off the track. Once again, someone goes off at this spot. And very similar to the corkscrew at Laguna Seca. And it looks like Oates is going to drop all the way down into the 8th position at this pace. Now in 7th, but Grindell trying to catch up. Looks like Harry Grindell's average lap is about 2 seconds off of the pace now. Tyler Williams leads by a total of 9.5 seconds over Chase Schaefer. Unbelievable, but he still looks to be pulling away as the race is, of course, still going through the motions here. But he's about a straightaway ahead of Schaefer at all times and about half a lap from catching Isaac Johnson in 9th. as Alex Anderson already off the track and Chase Schaefer off the track. This year driver in the second spot. Rudy's gaining on him big time. Now it could be a three-man battle for that second spot. Unbelievable. And Rudy knows he's got an opportunity here. '78 machine. Now within a second. Chase Schaefer, this lap by will be about a 1 minute and 35 seconder. And that's the slowest he's ran all race long since his second lap incident, which took him out of the lead. And he knows he's got to push harder and harder to try to get back out in front. It's going to be much harder as the race goes on. Stoltz still chasing Valentine, and now Valentine is chasing Schaefer with a purpose. And this is the closest battle on the racing surface. Rudy's going to go way wide here. And it looks like Chase Schaefer, as a matter of fact, going to use an alternate strategy and go down pit road very early here. This could be the move that puts him up front later on. The undercut being made by the driver of the 19 machine. And this is a move we have not seen here before. Of course, the first race of the season. And Stoltz going to follow him through. Now, River Page going to be promoted up into third as Schaefer and Stoltz take themselves to pit road for the first time tonight. And Tyler Williams now has a 14-second lead over the damaged Rudy Valentine. Jonathan Oates there as well. Now he's up to fifth, chasing Jack Painter in fourth and River Page in third as Harry Grindell gets by Chase Schaefer, and Schaefer going to cycle out with Josh Stoltz at about the last position on the track. Isaac Johnson coming down as well, and it looks like he's going to try to get on the same strategy as the guys who were once up front in this one. It's about a minute on pit road these guys have spent. Unbelievable. Very, very long here. Isaac Johnson just gets propped up. And these guys know what they want. The fuel to go all the way and the tires to last as well. And out they go in the same order. Schaefer spent a minute and 2 seconds. And Schaefer, seeing that Josh Stoltz spent just a tenth longer, same time in the box and same time out, now they're back up to pace. Tyler Williams leading by 13 seconds, and he's coming down on pit road this time. First stint is over. And now coming in for a bit more fuel strategy here. And only so much time before we see these guys cross to the 13th lap. And these guys have about 3 or 4 pit stops they'll have to worry about at this pace. Depending on whether or not we get an overtime, we will see 48 laps of action. If we do get an overtime, 45 laps, meaning about 3 pit stops. And Valentine on his way as well. Severely damaged. We'll see whether or not he has required damage to take, or if it's all optional. This might ruin his race coming in regardless, as River Page and Jack Painter do the same, and Jonathan Oates now being promoted up to the race lead. And Painter looks to have led that lap. Chase Schaefer trying to cycle out as well. The 99 machine coming down to the stripe in 35 seconds time. We'll see where he ends up, as he still has a ways to go to get to the drivers in front of him. As it stands, it looks like he's got about 20 more seconds to claw back here. And we'll see whether or not he's able to make it. Tyler Williams already out on the racing surface. He will keep himself in the lead. Chase Schaefer still going. And it looks like an alternate strategy going to put him right out beside what might be Rudy Valentine. And that it will. Valentine going to be passed there by Schaefer. And now the 78 machine is still in third, as it looks like Josh Stoltz not able to catch him. And unbelievably, Chase Schaefer going to cycle up to second, what looks to be more fuel, because he took 20 seconds longer on that stop. And it looks like actually Chase Schaefer had about 2 seconds less time on pit road and still not able to come back out on top. Gaining some time, but only just a bit. We'll see whether or not this is going to carry the momentum for the 19 team, as they gain just about 2 on pit road compared to your race leader of Tyler Williams. No battle within a second right now on the racing surface. River Page there, 13 laps in the 7th spot. Jack Painter in 8th. The 97 machine about 4 seconds off from the leader. Isaac Johnson, position number 9, about a minute off from your leader and about half a minute away from being lapped. Not good territory to be in, as he spends 1 minute and 3 seconds on pit road, a second less than your leader. Painter not watching right now, but it is Isaac Johnson going all the way down to second gear there, and his timing looks to be a little slower than a lot of these guys here. His last lap, a 1 minute 36, his best lap, a 1 minute 32 slowest of the guys in the field so far, as Josh Stoltz goes all the way down into 8th. Strategy not working out. Harry Grindell goes down on pit road. Rudy Valentine going to pass him. And as Rudy gets right by the driver of the 7-wheel machine, he is now just outside of the podium. Jonathan Oates going to be the next man going into pit road, and he still has an 18-second advantage over your race leader in Tyler Williams. And Johnson, knowing what he's got to do down to 9th, Jonathan Oates knows he has to do something here as your leader. Of course, strategy is the only reason he is up in the front of this pack. He's got to find a way to make this stick. He would need a caution, if anything, but so far, no cautions. 14 laps in, but an all-green procedure. That's 14 laps in. Everyone's getting back up to pace. River Page going to go off the track here. Josh Stoltz going to be able to catch him now within 2 seconds of the 024 machine. And Jack Painter there as well. However, Painter going to have a bit of trouble, and now he's pretty far behind the driver of Josh Stoltz. Valentine there as well. The 78 machine in the 4th spot, chasing down Chase Schaefer, a gap of 4 seconds between the drivers who will cycle up to 3rd, and of course 2nd for Schaefer. But Valentine in a disadvantageous position here as he chases down the 19 machine, who's just out of frame, and Jonathan Oates is going to come down on pit road, going to cycle himself back to the rear of the field. Tyler Williams leads once more, 15 laps in, out of 45, a third of the way here in Phillip Island. And Oates, knowing something's got to happen here, as Valentine going to be able to pass him, and already has. Next man up is going to be River Page, as it looks like Oates is going to spend about a minute on pit road, and actually, he might be able to cycle up into 4th using this strategy, as Page is still about 39 seconds away from the leader, but 6 seconds away from Oates. Coming down to the stripe, is Jonathan Oates going to leave pit road early? He will not. Josh Stoltz, the next man up, and now it looks like both of them will pass Oates, and Oates is down into 6th. With pressure from Jack Painter, Harry Grindell, who are both going to soar right by the 73. Jonathan Oates back down to 8th with no pressure from Isaac Johnson. And Oates now in a little bit of trouble. Strategy not playing out, but he does lead some laps here, as Tyler Williams still leads by 10 seconds over Chase Schaefer. And Schaefer, last time by, slower by 0.2 of a second. The 131.453 for Williams, not matched by Chase Schaefer's 131.679. Unbelievable. But it looks like the 19 machine is still pulling away 15 laps in. Rudy Valentine on his way as well, as River Page in the 024 machine is still in 4th, being chased down by Josh Stoltz in 5th. Stoltz only 2.5 seconds away from position number 4. Jack Painter on his way as well. 6th position right now and about 4 seconds off of Josh Stoltz. The 97 machine still pushing like his life depends on it. Harry Grindell coming in as well into the picture. Half a second off, looks to have some damage repaired, as a matter of fact, taking a bit more time on pit road. And nonetheless, Vauxhall number 70 machine is fighting 4 spots. At one point, it looked like his race was done and done, but he's gaining slowly but surely on Jack Painter. Your Painter having a bit of trouble keeping it to the road, as the majority of the field is far off the pace of Schaefer and Williams. As that time by, Chase Schaefer is going to gain half a second, or rather a third of a second, as he has 131.5 as his most recent lap. And now, Chase Schaefer setting the pace once again, 16 laps in. And unbelievably, almost halfway in here, Chase Schaefer now back to the leader's pace, although he's not in the lead battle just yet. He's going to have to put himself in it. He wants an opportunity at it. And it's almost within an 8-second lead. It's 9.2 for the driver of the 19 machine. And Valentine in the 78 car, still far off of the frame. It's a 10-second gap between 1st and 2nd, and a 10-second gap between 2nd and 3rd, effectively, as Schaefer has shaved 1 second off of that 10-second gap. It is now 9 seconds separating the men in 1st and 2nd. The remainder of the field very far off, and it looks like Isaac Johnson now about a minute away from being lapped here. It's a 78 machine in 3rd, his teammate, the 34 machine, leading by a long shot here. 17 laps in, but the race is far from over. And now, it looks like it's all about playing it safe lap after lap and getting consistent lap times in. Although Chase Schaefer, most certainly, not playing it safe Stewie coming into the chat, thank you for your support. Hope you enjoyed tonight's broadcast. Certainly a different discipline of racing, but an interesting one nonetheless indeed, as Schaefer still pushing the limit here. Rudy Valentine not close to him, but Schaefer now within 8.5 seconds, and that time by shaves a half second off of the lead, and he's now playing it nice and smooth, getting lap in, lap out quicker than your race leader. And this is Tyler Williams' kryptonite here, as actually it looks like he was about a second faster than your race leader last time by, unbelievably. Now Williams looks to be mistake prone for the first time all night long, as the 34 machine seemed to be indomitable as those first 15 laps before tire strategy came into the equation, of course, occurred. And the 78 machine 10 seconds off, River Page 20 seconds off of that, as Harry Grindell is gaining on Jack Painter very, very quickly. And it looks like now someone's going to have an incident. That's Jonathan Oates off into the gravel trap once again. 17 laps in out of 45. And Oates is in trouble. Not good for the driver of the 73 machine. Adam Sweet back on the track, 16 laps down. Certainly, his winning chances are over. But he is back, meaning that the driver currently in 11th position is on the surface and able to pass Alex Anderson if he just runs 8 laps. Tyler Williams still 8.5 seconds up. Chase Schaefer that time by 0.6 of a second faster and gaining. Unbelievably, Schaefer has hope in this lead battle, and he's trying to cut that lead down to less than 8 seconds. Would look to be impossible, only 5 laps to go. Might have just become probable. He's within 300ths of it, and now it is an under 8-second gap for the lead, and the two leaders are on the same frame for the first time all night long. 18 laps in out of 45, almost halfway through. And these men up front know what they want out of the car, and they're pushing it like nobody else can. Schaefer, 8.2 seconds out. And coming down to the final segment, all about hugging that inside line, setting yourself up for the double apex, and moving out effectively, as this is the most important segment of gaining time. Right now, it's a 7.5 second gap between your top two drivers. Schaefer still gaining, and Williams is still losing more and more time. Coming to the stripe once again, Tyler Williams coming down the stripe, and that's going to be a 131.144, now 132.144. Lap getting updated as we speak. Chase Schaefer's last lap, that's going to come down as a 130.718, and that is a new fastest lap on the night. Unbelievable. Chase Schaefer still within touching distance, as everyone's going to tap out on our screen. And not sure what's going on here. This might just be an iRacing issue, as everyone appears to be off of the racing surface for only a moment. We're going to find out why. And this appears to be major, although it isn't, and we are back. iRacing having a bit of a server hiccup, and we just tried to see what was going on. It looks like iRacing having the problem for us. There are apologies, as Tyler Williams only leads by 7.5 seconds, unbelievably. The man in the 19 machine, he is pushing, and he is faster than any other driver on this circuit. That is for certain. And Chase Schaefer making every move like his life depends on it. Big battle here. 4-car bundle. River Page is away from it, but Josh Stoltz, Jack Painter, and Harry Grindell doing battle for the first time in quite a while. 3-car bundle. The 199 in the mix here. Down to the inside line. Jack Painter going to be able to go on Josh Stoltz. No maneuver that time by, but Grindell and Jack Painter are side by side. Double file. The 97 machine there as well. And it is a 2-wide affair here between the drivers in 5th, 6th, and 7th. Now, Stoltz going to be able to pull away, and Grindell gets right by Jack Painter. Painter certainly not giving up just yet. And unbelievably down, Josh Stoltz gets to chase down River Page. Page in 4th, but losing more and more time. His last lap looks to be 5 seconds slower. And Page back to the dirt, going to be able to save it. Unbelievably, now he still holds on to the position, but only just. Josh Stoltz is certainly going to be there next time by. And it is getting closer and closer. These guys are giving each other no inch. There's no inch to be spared, that is for sure. Page still just about a second up on his adversary in Josh Stoltz. And and Stoltz back in the mix for this 4th place race. This is the 4-car bundle chasing down Page, trying to get a spot from him and trying to get themselves up 1 spot. As a result, Jack Painter goes way wide there and takes the grass. Not going to be able to make anything happen. The 7th position machine he is now. And now, Isaac Johnson closing in on him. About a 20-second gap between the men in 7th and 8th. Johnson on the hunt. Eric Grindell, position number 6. Josh Stoltz in 5th. Going to go down to the inside line on River Page. Tries to make it happen. Not going to happen. The bumper almost placed there. But they are certainly close to touching. And 26 laps to go here in Phillip Island. Page still holding on to 4th. Josh Stoltz in 5th. Harry Grindell in 6th. Jack Painter in 7th. And Isaac Johnson is in 8th. As Johnson Oates down into 9th. Alex Anderson in 10th, and Adam Sweet looks to be down and out of it now, disconnecting once again. 19 laps down. He did not opt to go for Alex Anderson's spot. A no caution race so far, caution free, as we have now gotten to the 25 lap to go point. And Chase Schaefer undeniably pushing like his life depends on it here. It's a 6.9 second gap, and Schaefer, the fastest man on the track, has shaved off 3 seconds so far. Now 3.5 seconds. It's going to come back, of course, to Williams off the exit. But Schaefer is faster by almost a second every lap now. He's in the 131s while Williams is in the 132s, and it's certainly proving itself now. Chase Schaefer is not a short-run driver with these supercars, and he's proven to be a super driver, as he is certainly the fastest man in this race so far. His second lap incident might have hurt him, but now, with clean tires and all the confidence in the world, Chase Schaefer might just be the man to beat. And down to the inside of the curb, once again, he takes every single one of them, and he takes them as aggressively as possible. Tyler Williams not able to say the same right now. It just might not be working out in the cockpit of that 34 machine. Maybe not enough confidence coming out of the car, as Schaefer, that time by, is going to be with a 131.733 to beat half a second off. So Williams going to be able to get just a bit of time back there. But Tyler Williams is slowly but surely losing more time than he is gaining, as Chase Schaefer is pushing as hard as he can to keep himself in this battle, despite everything that's happened in this race so far. 22 laps, 0 cautions, and it looks like it will stay that way no matter what. Nobody has prompted the caution, and we've seen quite a few incidents here. And Chase Schaefer, on a lap of older tires, has gained yet another half second. It appears at least 6.2 seconds for just a moment for Schaefer, and he's absolutely got the pace to hold on here. Undeniably, Chase Schaefer proving to be a very good driver here with the supercars. 6.5 seconds, the gap between your top 2 drivers. And Williams, watching on board in his Holden Commodore, down to the inside line, taking the off-cambered corner quite well. And the slipstream signs number 34 machine holding on, and it is a sign for Chase Schaefer to keep on pushing. 6.5 flat for just a moment. And the 34 going to come down to the start-finish line. A little bobble there from Schaefer, not going to cost him that much time. As down to the stripe, Williams is going to be able to make it, and that will be a 132.218. Chase Schaefer's lap that time by, as they are both in frame, with a 131.451, gaining 0.8 of a second back on the 34 machine. And that just shows how fast that man in the 19 machine is. Lap 23 and 23 laps to go. We're at the halfway point here in Phillip Island. No cautions, no incidents to speak of that have brought one out. It's been quite a ride, as Rudy Valentine back with a rear end once again in third, definitively about 28 seconds over River Page, and Page is in his own world here with an 8-second gap over fifth and 28 seconds to spare to catch Rudy Valentine. It looks like Page might have to settle for fourth, as this race is currently on its way to being a no caution event. And it looks like everything's going to blimp out again. And unbelievably, it happens once more. We're going to try to find out why. And taking a look, it looks like this time by, it's getting serious. What's going on here? And now everything appears to be back once again. iRacing is having serious issues here tonight, and we are not sure why. We're going to find out immediately. Give us just a moment. And as we continue to try to find out what's going on, we're going to be right back. And we are still working here. It looks like actually internet might have just been disconnected. Unbelievably. Although we are still looking to see what is going on. Our apologies. This is just going to be a moment. We wait to find out what's going on. These drivers still not giving us anything here. We still see nothing on our end. Although now it looks like it's back once again. Our apologies. And we have returned here, as it looks like the internet going out for just a moment. And it looks like, unbelievably, our internet got disconnected physically. That's no good, but you didn't miss a thing here. 22 laps to go, and we were planning to do this beforehand. We're going to do it now. We are going to take you to a brief 22 to go. Crank it up. It's TrackCams22.com, the best cameras on iRacing. So let's use them with style. Let's crank it up here. 22 laps to go. And to watch on board there with Tyler Williams on the 34 machine, he's only leading by a total of 4.5 seconds going into the final stretch of this race. It means a lot more to get it done. It's not about where you started, it's about where you finish. But right now, Tyler Williams in jeopardy of not being able to finish this one off in first, as it is still a hunt down that the driver of the 19 machine is putting on. He is pushing, and he's now got about 5 seconds to spare, of course, as he has already gained 5 seconds, but he has to gain 5 more. Looks like he's going to lose about a second at a time. That time by, it's now about a 5.5 second deficit, as Schaefer has made his first mistake in quite a while. 20 laps to go here, and he's going to have to be perfect from here on out to get this one done. And Rudy Valentine now about a half a minute away from him. It's all about making sure that Williams makes more mistakes than you do here. Rudy Valentine and Ruben Page going to both have incidents at the same time, unrelated. Page gets back on the track. Harry Grindell going to pass one. Rudy Valentine back, and it looks like he's got a lot of damage to that rear end once again. But Harry Grindell not in sight to get by Valentine. And Grindell gets up to fourth. No chance at getting up into third. And Rudy going to have to shake that one off and keep going. And Chase Schaefer coming down once again, 5.3. The difference between these two drivers after a total of 27 laps with no cautions, and it's been all about the tire strategy, been all about the pace. And 16 laps into this stint, of course. Chase Schaefer trying to play the long game on this run, while Williams, with younger tires, still seems to be slower than the man who's been chasing him down since the second lap. Your pole sitter making a mistake on the second and having to claw his way back up unbelievably. Star of the show overall might just be the man in that 19. Brewer Page gaining in on Harry Grindell, and it looks like now they're separated by about 9/10 of a second. Page looking for fourth, and it's a spot he only lost due to an incident. He still seems to have some speed here as he goes way into the dirt, way into the gravel trap, and he's going to lose a lot of time here, but he saves it, and he's still going, but he's not going to be happy about that, absolutely. Now about 2 seconds off of Harry Grindell. And Grindell able to breathe just a bit here while he has damage. Valentine, of course, does as well, but River Page, who is battling, has a lot on that right side, and it's going to come to affect him as the race goes on. Williams and Schaefer first and second. 131.9 for the driver of the 34 machine. That time by for Chase Schaefer. He loses about 3/10 of a second, and it looks like he might be desperate and might lose some more, as we are still having some connection problems here. Chase Schaefer still going nonetheless, and fighting hard the 19 machine is. And it looks like we see some smoke. Tyler Williams not going to be the cause as Jonathan Oates goes one lap down there. And how about that for the 19 machine? He's going to have a lap car to get through as Jonathan Oates lets your leader by. And Oates is one lap down on pace here. He was leading just 15 laps to go, but now with 18 laps to go overall, he's not going to be able to keep this one going. 15 laps to go, your leader, and now far off and one lap down on pace. Chase Schaefer going to have to make his move quick, as it looks like the lap car slowed him down nonetheless. Tyler Williams, and he's coming up on yet another, and that other is Isaac Johnson, with Johnson only a few seconds away from being lapped. 18 laps to go here, and the potential to lap all the way up to 5th position for your leaders. It's there. We'll see whether or not they're able to take it. It would take a lot to do so, but these guys up front, they've been especially fast. They have what it takes. It might come down to working it out very late with the lap cars, and if they're able to do so, they might just come out with a lap car afflicted finish. As you can see, Tyler Williams there chasing down Isaac Johnson, and Chase Schaefer not in frame just yet. And he will be in just a few moments' time, as Schaefer, 5 seconds flat away from your race leader, gains 6/10 of a second that time by. 4.8 seconds, 4.7, and now down to the 4.5 range. He's gained almost 6 whole seconds on your leader, and he's still got 17 laps to go to do this. iRacing having a lot of server-sided issues tonight, and we are not happy about that. That is for certain. As we can see, the stream is still going. iRacing just having a lot of trouble here, and we apologize for that, but we're not sure what is causing it, because iRacing does not usually have server-sided issues that often. However, on a night like this, where Chase Schaefer putting on the drive of his life, it looks like it is happening, and iRacing flickering on and off, but it unfortunately is not something that we are in control of. But we are still watching Chase Schaefer, who looks to have just lost a bit of time there, have a 4.7 second gap that he's going to have to close down once again, and it looks like he's much better off the final sector and the first sector, and that's where he gains all his time, 4.3 seconds. Jonathan Oates in his way, but Isaac Johnson in Williams' way. It all comes down to how these guys negotiate their lap car buddies, as Oates, the league owner, certainly not going to try to get into the mind of a driver in a negative manner, because Chase Schaefer does race in the OSRL League, of course, in the Premier Series. He's eligible for it, and here in the off-season series, he is putting on a show, but it is still Tyler Williams leading the way, and Williams slowly but surely cutting into the advantage that Isaac Johnson has on that 34, and Schaefer is the next man up, as Jonathan Oates putting on a respectable fight as well. Schaefer now has a 4-second flat deficit to crawl out of, as Isaac Johnson goes around right in front of your leader, and Tyler Williams disposes of him, although it might not have been contact. Certainly, Johnson going to go off as a result of the pressure faced by a leader. Jonathan Oates is going to go way wide and let Schaefer right by, and now Isaac Johnson might have the opportunity to pass Jonathan Oates back. He's now within a second here, and coming down, we're going to find out whether or not they do, as it looks like iRacing servers are having some rollout type issue, and Isaac Johnson does get right by. Jonathan Oates back down to 9th. And Tyler Williams leads by 3.5 seconds with 16 laps to go. He's led ever since the second lap, and he had a 10-second advantage to start this run. And it's been clawed in by over 6 seconds, unbelievably. It looks like Josh Stoltz is going to come down on pit road. This is when the pit cycle comes into effect once more. Williams, Schaefer might be on the same pit strategy this time by. It does not look like they come in. We'll see whether or not they come in at the same time or when they come in, because they are certainly bound to have to go at least one more time onto pit road. And if they don't, well, that's going to be a problem. But certainly, they're going to have to come in with the next few laps, maybe 2, maybe 3, as Johnson and Oates race each other pretty hard here. And this is now for 7th. Josh Stoltz down 1 lap and back out on the track. And 15 laps. That's all we have to settle this one. Top 2 drivers separated by 4.5 seconds. Williams, the 34, leads the way. Chase Schaefer, 4 seconds about flat back, as Johnson and Oates go side by side right behind your race leaders. And they are still pushing. Down to the inside. Isaac Johnson going to have to let him go for now. And it looks like Oates is going to go way wide. And now the 33 machine is able to keep with him. 15 to go here. And Johnson goes right down to the stripe. Oates still there. It's the outside and the inside, using every line to their advantage. And these two are still pushing like their life depends on it. And stripe to stripe, these guys have been near each other, but this is the closest they've been all race long. Isaac Johnson going to lock up, and Oates is still pushing. And 19-lap-old tires. Tyler Williams has. It looks like he's not going to come in this time by. And Chase Schaefer in the same scenario, although now Schaefer might just be losing a few tenths a lap. And he might have to bank on that final set of tires to push him through to the remainder of this race. 15 laps to go becomes 14 laps to go. And unbelievably, it looks like it's going to come down to green flag pit stops to see who's going to come down and win this race, as Chase Schaefer loses about a tenth of a second that time by. Williams leading by 4.5 seconds, maintaining that steady. He's lost about 5.5 seconds overall of his lead, but Schaefer knows it's now or never to push. As it looks like once again going to be a bit of a blink out here. iRacing having a bit of a rollout once again. Stay tuned. We are not going anywhere. And iRacing will be right back with us in about a second's time here, as Tyler Williams still leads. And Chase Schaefer in second. Rudy Valentine in third. Harry Grindell in fourth. Vera Page is in fifth. Jack Painter in sixth. Looks like we're getting affected a lot tonight, and not sure why. Looks like the servers here, as we are hosting on the Boston servers, the USC servers, seem to be having a lot of trouble handling this session. 14 laps to go, and it's going to be hard to handle for Chase Schaefer, as he now has about 5 seconds to claw back through. Looks to be losing yet another tenth of a second this time by. Williams not letting anyone know when he's going to go in. Tyler Williams in that 34 machine not coming in this time by. Chase Schaefer has yet to come in as well, opting not to through the final few turns. And down to the stripe once again, 14 laps to go for Tyler Williams. And it is only so much time to calculate your final moves. 13 laps, a baker's dozen here. And Chase Schaefer trying to cook something up. That time by loses about half a second, and that is not good. After all the progress he made, he looks to be losing all of it, and it's unraveling at the tail end of this race. Holding on just a bit, it's all he has to do. Tyler Williams knows it, and Chase Schaefer knows he's got to keep on pushing, even if it's going to get harder and harder time after time. And we're going to see Chase Schaefer on the screens once again, as we are still having back and forth issues here with iRacing. And they certainly do not appear happy. As once again, we're going to try to find out what is going on. And it looks like we cannot see anything. Everything seems to be fine on our end. And unbelievably, we're still not getting anything out of the session. Internet appears to be all clear. And we are still going as if nothing is wrong here. On our end anyway. And we see nothing on our end that could be wrong with iRacing. And it still appears to be fine. Not sure what's going on here. We're still looking, trying to find out what is going on here. As we look through, we're going to go to intermission, it looks like. However, iRacing is having a load of issues. And we don't see a network indicator saying that something is wrong in terms of connection. Still looks connected to us. The drivers are back on our screens. Once again, our apologies. iRacing is giving us quite the hard time tonight. The internet signal appears to be all good. We don't see anything that could be causing this. And we can confirm Tyler Williams still leading by 4.5 seconds over Chase Schaefer. A dozen laps remain here in Phillip Island. And Schaefer holding on quite nicely. Ray Valentine, third position here. Gonna go way off. And it's gonna be a big incident here. Harry Grindell might be able to catch up now. And he is way off the track and have to limp back on. And Grindell now within 10 seconds of third position. And Schaefer now gaining big here. 4.1 seconds. And it looks like Tyler Williams back to struggling. And he might have to choose to come into pit road this time by. It could be make or break now for the driver of the 34 machine. Whether or not he chooses to come in this time by, it's all on him. The strategy all comes down to this make or break moment. And he's choosing not to come in this time by. Waiting slowly and surely to find out whether or not he's got something in store here for the 19 machine of Schaefer. And whether or not he has that in store, we are going to find out. And it looks like still going to be a lot of trouble there for the driver of the 34 machine. As we were trying to find a replay on something there. It doesn't look like there's an incident on the track at the moment. And still, Tyler Williams leading by 5 seconds as Chase Schaefer gets into the gravel trap and comes down on pit road. The final pit stop for Chase Schaefer tonight. And down to pit road with 11 laps to go. This could be it for the driver of the 19 machine. And now, Rudy Valentine going to be able to pass him in just a few minutes' time. A minute or so, as a matter of fact. 11 laps to do it. And Schaefer still on pit road. Tyler Williams leading the way nonetheless. And nobody else in sight of that 34 machine. He's going to have to come to pit road sooner than later here. Lap 35 out of 45. And if he doesn't come in anytime soon, there is certainly going to be a problem for that driver of that 34. And it is going to become an issue unlike anything we've seen beforehand. As these guys continue to push as hard as they can. Still looks like we got an internet issue underway. And we are going to go once again looking to try to find what's going on. It looks like iRacing is just having an issue here tonight. Everything looks good on our end. And server-sided, this issue certainly is iRacing giving us a lot of trouble seeing the drivers out here tonight in Phillip Island. 35 laps in out of 45, and it looks to have an outage in our area as we are being affected once again. And not sure what to say about that, trying to get the internet signal to recover. And Tyler Williams still not on your screen. He still leads lap 35 of 45. Time is still ticking down. No caution, and iRacing is still giving us data. And we are going to look once again to try to find a solution to what is going on here. Give us just a moment. We are going to head into intermission and find out what is going on once more. Try to see if there's anything we can do to bring this thing back to life. iRacing just having a lot of issues here. And we don't have any network indicator saying that it is our end. It simply appears to be iRacing is having quite the malfunction here tonight. And Tyler Williams back on our screen once again. We're going to bring it back once more as the 34 machine is still there for just a moment. And now, as soon as we say that, he disappears once more. 36 out of 45, 10 laps to go. And Tyler Williams leads over Chase Schaefer, Rudy Valentine, Harry Grindell, and Jack Painter. And Williams going to have to come into pit road sometime soon here. And we still try to work out what is going on as we don't see these drivers for only a moment. We are looking into our OBS here, trying to find if something is going on in there. And trying to see whether or not it is the stream that is causing the issue here tonight. And it looks like it might just be that. We are going to crank everything down on output, trying to find something to keep us going here tonight. And it looks like we might have just hit a brick wall here. We're going to try to find out what happened. Once again, setting it to intermission. And this could be some bad news. We are going to find out nonetheless whether or not it is intermission for just a brief moment, just again. We are going to see, although we are still certainly connected to the stream, nonetheless, we're going to back down the stream signal. And we are not having an issue keeping us connected. We still do not see the drivers on our end. And it is unbelievable, although now it looks like we do. We're going to bring it back once more. Tyler Williams leading by now 28 seconds. This is make or break here, and he has yet to pit with 9 laps left. Valentine, 3rd position. Grindell in 4th, and Jack Painter in 5th. Page in 6th, and Jonathan Oates in 7th. 7th position for the Oates machine. Page in 6th. Jack Painter, of course, in the top 5, and Grindell in 4th, still pushing as hard as he can. And he's got a load of damage to show for the effort, as now Tyler Williams going to have to choose to come into pit road anytime soon. And if he does, it all comes down to that. And we have not seen him on pit road at all. With 9 laps to go, when he chooses to go down, Chase Schaefer, it will be his race to lose, it looks like, as it's a 26-second gap between their top 2 drivers. And having to come down sometime soon, Tyler Williams playing the long game on fuel, it appears, as it might be this time by, going especially slow through the final segment. And he is not going to opt to go to pit road now. Although it certainly looks like he's conserving some fuel, trying to hold off. Chase Schaefer, 25 seconds. It's a gap he's going to have to push hard to get through. And certainly, Schaefer, knowing he's got to push all the way with 8 laps remaining here in Phillip Island. Rudy Valentine, 3rd, 34 seconds back. And now, Harry Grindell going to go off the track, and Jack Painter going to be the next man to catch him. And that is not good for the driver of the 97 machine's chances of getting up front. Same with a 70, as Grindell looks to have a car out of control. 8 laps remaining here in Phillip Island. The season over 200 coming to a close very, very soon. And still, it looks like Tyler Williams has a 30-second advantage here. And we still have not seen him come in on pit road. According to timing and scoring, nothing indicating he did. And the number 34, pushing in spite of everything, as if nothing has happened. Although it might just be that he came down only for a set of extra fuel, and that the old tires are all he has to keep it going. Ticker might be wrong here, but it looks like Tyler Williams may be right and might have the strategy to go all the way in the remainder of this race. And a brief intermission once more. We're going to take you to a replay hunt once again, try to get something worked out behind the scenes, keep us going here, as we're going to bring all the cars back to the table and make sure that every car is shown on the screen. And as soon as we get that done, and we will get back to the action. And now we see that Tyler Williams leads us with now a total of 7 laps to go. Unbelievable. The man in the 34 machine leads by 25 seconds, and Chase Schaefer far out of his league. And Rudy Valentine in 3rd position, still holding on to that final spot of the podium. Harry Grindell in 4th, Jack Painter in 5th, Jonathan Oates is in 6th. And the rest of these guys are fighting hard. Page in 9th, and Isaac Johnson is in 8th. Page now has 3.5 seconds to go if he wants to get up to the drivers in front, including Isaac Johnson. Going to take a lot out of him, but Tyler Williams knows that he's not going to have to take a lot. He's just going to have to cruise throughout the remainder of the race if he wants to get this victory with a total of 7 laps remaining. Valentine in 3rd, Grindell in 4th, Jack Painter is in 5th. And an unbelievable circumstance keeps Tyler Williams from almost losing the lead to now having a 23.9 second advantage over his adversary. And Williams and Schaefer absolutely put on a show tonight. And with 7 to go, Tyler Williams might just come out the victor, as Schaefer not able to pick off much more time. 23 seconds remain. The new tires might not be the gamble that's worth it. And Williams on old tires still pushing hard. 7 laps becomes 6 laps to go, led by the 34. And Harry Grinnell chasing down slowly but surely Rudy Valentin. A gap of 6 seconds between the 3rd and 4th position drivers. And Oates in 6th. Stoltz in 7th, Isaac Johnson in 8th, and River Page in 9th leave only a total of 5 drivers on the lead lap. Oates being chased down by Chase Schaefer here. And Schaefer going to have to get past the 73 once again. A 24-second advantage for your race leader. And this might be insurmountable. We'll see whether or not we get a yellow. It is unlikely. We've gone the majority of this race 40 laps without a yellow. So to get one now would be incredibly unlikely, if not borderline impossible. As Valentin in the 78 machine still holds on. Grindell 4th, Jack Painter 5th, Jonathan Oates in 6th, Josh Stoltz in 7th, Isaac Johnson in 8th, and River Page having a lot more trouble now, 20 seconds back with a load of front end damage. That car is destroyed, and he's hardly got control of it. You could see the in-car movements. Let's go on board River Page and see how bad that car is driving, because now it looks to be out of control. The roll bar camera, and he is going to go off of the track. Rotation lock, and it is a challenge to hold on, and one's gonna go right by him, and without any possibility of keeping that car in control, Rudy gets right through. Now Harry Grinnell, and you can see how hard he's turning the reel. Not a lot of power being put down, and trying to keep up with anyone in front of him. The tire smoke, unbelievable, as Chase Schaefer is losing time, and now he is 6 seconds off the pace on this lap. And while that's not enough to lose a spot, certainly not good when it comes to gaining. 5 laps to go here in Australia. And Phillip Island presenting a great race here tonight. And 5 laps, all to decide the winner. But Tyler Williams has led every lap since the second. Only driver to lead another was the opening lap with Chase Schaefer. And Schaefer gave it all he had. But it might not have been enough. Unbelievable battle. And another battle forming just ahead. It looks like Jack Painter might be involved in it. And now we are going to find out. Painter getting by the damaged River Page. And Page, while still holding on, is about 26 seconds off the pace this lap. And he's having a lot of trouble. And it's a very hard car to drive, that is for certain. All the damage on the front end and on the sides makes it just about out of control. And Page goes down to the inside line of the straightaway. Is going to let yet another driver by. That is going to be the leader of Tyler Williams, getting right through him. And now Page is 2 laps down, and he is uncontrollable down the straight. That's where he loses the most time. Looks like just a little bit too much power is put down through the straight, and he is drifting that thing as he is hardly in control. It has become a drift fest for the driver of the 024, and it's almost unmanageable. Down to the gravel trap once again. Page keeps on driving, but it must be a hard task to keep on going with the car in that shape. Isaac Johnson, 8th position here. Josh Stoltz in 7th. Jonathan Oates in 6th position, and Jack Painter in 5th. Harry Grindell now 2.5 seconds away from Rudy Valentin with 4 laps left. He's gaining in slowly but surely. And now Chase Schaefer 27 seconds off of the lead with a total of 4 laps remaining. It's going to be a hard task to get there, if not impossible. But it looks like Tyler Williams might have been right about the strategy. No tires, just gas, and yet he's still pulling away from a Chase Schaefer who is within 4 seconds of him just 5 laps ago. Down to the outside once again. 34 machine coming through the final series of turns once more. Going to become 3 laps to go. Chase Schaefer about a half minute back, and Rudy Valentin 3rd position, but only has a 2-second advantage on it now, as Harry Grindell, with the damage he has, is still gaining on Rudy's car. Slowly, surely, and it is not effortless, that's for certain, but he's putting together the effort. River Page this time by, sets a 2-minute 3-second lap, and he's going to drift it out once again. Every turn has become a drift fest for the driver of the 024, And nobody else seems to have as much trouble around the track as he does. As up to the high side once again, River goes. And now he's going to have to let Alex Anderson by. Tries to draft him. As Chase Schaefer just in frame. And still, every single time, even on a straightaway, the power can't be put down. And Page just has to keep slowing that thing down to keep it on the track. It's a challenge. And he's still holding on, hardly mustering control of that car. 3 laps to go. And River Page on the edge of control, while Tyler Williams is on cruise control. And he's only got 3 circuits around this track to get the victory. Incredible driving. And he's only going to have to limp his way home if he wants that victory. And 25 seconds between first and second. And that's going to define the way this race went. Domination by Tyler Williams, lap in, lap out. Harry Grindell now within a second of Rudy Valentin. And that is for third. 3 laps will become 2 laps this time by. And it's going to be a 2-lap showdown between these 2 drivers for the closest battle on the racing surface. 44 laps of green flag non-stop action with tire strategy and all of the above. And it leads to a natural battle for the final spot on the podium. And it's going to mean a lot in the championship standings. A lot of time has been spent pushing to the limit. And nonetheless, Grindell and Valentin find themselves about even. And in spite of all that, it might come down to the last lap as Grindell now pushing curb after curb, trying to gain on Valentin. Side by side they might be for just a moment. The Holden gonna get real loose there. The battle's not over, but he's gonna lose just about a 1/10 of a second of time. The perfect time to lose it through the slowest corner on the track, and Grindell is gonna put down the pace once more. And this might be it. Unsure to be sure of it. That is for certain. You can't tell just yet. But Grindell still 1.2 seconds off. Tyler Williams almost to the final lap of this race. And he is going to come down the final straightaway once again for a 1 lap to go. And an unbelievable performance leaves the number 34 machine as the man who's going to take us down to the white flag. It's going to be 1 more lap for everyone on the circuit, but nobody is close. 23 seconds, now 24 seconds he has over the remainder of the field. Unbelievable. Valentin now has a 4/10 of a second advantage, and it's still over Grindell. These 2 are going to push to the limits. Down to the inside line they both go. Same entry to the corner and the same exit. But Grindell's got something. The rear end damage for Valentin. The right side damage for Grindell. 2 wounded warriors and 2 wounded cars. And they're still pushing. And once again, the gap now within 3/10 of a second. These are the closest these guys have been all race long. And it's the final lap of this race, a fully green race. And now Grindell is pushing. Sends it in just a bit, pushing the limit. And the needle sent all the way to the max. Down to the inside, Harry Grindell. And now he gets right through on Valentin. And Tyler Williams coming across for the final time here in Phillip Island. An incredible performance by an incredible driver, and he led every lap but 1. Coming through the final series of turns. No competition, and the strategy calls were perfect as well. And this man looks to be able to do anything in a V8 supercar, and tonight, win 1 looks to go to Holden. The 34 machine of Tyler J. Williams is going to come down to the start-finish line, and he is going to win the season opener 200 here in Phillip Island, and he gets it done by 28 seconds. Valentin and Grindell side by side. Schaefer's going to finish second. At this rate, Valentin's going to go to the high side. And Rudy goes down to the inside, braking deep, side by side once again. Grindell gets the edge. Rudy's not done. It's go for broke now. This is for all the marbles. And now, Harry Grindell has the advantage going to the final segment. 2 turns to go from here on out. And if Rudy doesn't push it now, he's never going to get that spot. Chase Schaefer is going to finish second for the pole. And Grindel, knowing this is it. One last lunge from Rudy Valentin. And Rudy might not have enough. Grindel fought for 45 laps, but Rudy's going to send it in one more time. Big send. It's not going to work. And it looks like, at the end of the day, a 45-lap battle. And it's coming home here for the driver of the number 70 machine. Harry Grindel looks to be locking in third position, and he fought for that one every step of the way, and he gets it on the last lap. Valentin fourth. Unbelievable job by the both of them. What a battle. And Tyler Williams still going around for a celebratory lap. Jack Painter, the next man to finish, and he's almost a lap down. Coming down for his final lap, and it looks like Tyler Williams going to let him by, let him get onto the lead lap. Only 5 drivers finish on that lead lap. And now, the 34 burns it down. And let's hear it. The driver who dominated all race long, ready to celebrate. And still rolling. A parade lap here for the driver of the 34 and Tyler Williams. It looks like he's going to come down on pit road. And that he is looking to park it early. And now, the 34 has parked the car that absolutely dominated tonight's race. What a performance put on by Tyler Williams. And how about the show that we saw tonight? The man out front dominated it lap after lap. And he put on a show worth remembering. Now, let's get an interview from the driver who won this race. It's the driver of the 34 machine, and that is Tyler Williams. How about the job he put together tonight? And from the start of the race, he went out front and he led all but one lap, winning our season opener here in Phillip Island. How do you feel after dominating tonight's event?
Yeah, mate. I don't know what to say. I mean, our Slipstream Signs and American Social Holden Commodore was absolutely awesome to drive today. We just tried to keep our nose clean, just tried to keep a regular rhythm throughout the race. After our first stops, Chase was running us down there for a bit. I was a bit worried that we were going to probably get nipped at the line, or we were probably going to get pushed into running out of fuel and having to stop again. But just kept our head down, just kept saving fuel, stuck to the plan, and ended up nabbing us a W. So I'm over the moon at the moment. I don't get to win many races, so this is to win a league race like this, especially at my home track. This is wonderful.
And an incredible home track performance, and it looks like strategy is what set you apart from Chase Schaefer, who certainly was running you down throughout the majority of that long run there, the second window. But then that final pit stop, it seems like that's where you pulled away. That's where it all came down to, and getting that victory came down to having the right mindset during that final set of course, pit stops. How was it running that strategy out for you?
Yeah, I mean, it was just, we saw Chase pit early on. I tried to cover him so we didn't get undercutted. And then, I was just I looked at the fuel map and we were just kind of 0.4 to the good. So I just went about trying to save as much as I could. And then I was just watching the relative, getting call outs from my team all the time that he was, catching. And I was just I was sure that, he was probably going to have to pit again just by the way he was driving. And But you know, you can never tell with these things like how they happen. So I was just like really worried that I was gonna probably save too much, but just kind of trusted the process on that one, and yeah, it ended up being how I thought it was going to play out. So I'm just really happy, man. It's just like just to be able to honestly get these just to win in that situation is just I'm ecstatic. I'm over the moon.
An incredible situation to win, and absolutely getting it deservedly so. No cautions, 45 laps of full on racing. In our next race, going to be another 200-mile event, 25 laps at Winton. Do we expect to see you back? As I believe now you will certainly have the points lead going into the remainder of the season. It's a doubleheader next week. Do we expect to see you back for both races, contending for wins 2 and 3?
Oh, absolutely, mate. I mean, you know, with my experience with superkarting, I've been able to race at Phillip Island before, but I've also been able to race at Winton before. Winton's a bit of a bogey track for me. I've had some ups and downs there, so if I can get a good result there and just get some redemption at that track, it will be that will probably be the best thing for me, and just get some solid points. But yeah, I'm definitely going to be making sure I get to every race. We've got a championship challenge up for grabs, so I'm going to make the most of it.
Absolutely, the championship challenge. You're already having a head start, home track, and getting it done for the 34 machine, Tyler Williams. Any final thoughts?
No, just thanks to OSRL for putting this all together, and you know, putting it on a day where I could run and wasn't affected by work. I want to thank my sponsors: Slipstream Signs, American Social, Anderson Karts, Ringabin. They've been supporting me for a long time now, so it's great to see them continue on for another season. And thanks to everyone who showed up today. I mean, and for you guys broadcasting it, this is going to be a great series. And stick around. Hopefully, we get a few more participants even as well. And yeah, roll on Winton.
Absolutely. Moving on to the next race. It's a great start for Tyler Williams. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
And there we have it, Tyler Williams, first position, and Chase Schaefer, the only man who seemed to be on his level tonight, getting it done for the pole position and leading a lap. But at the end of the day, it was all about that long run, trying to claw Tyler Williams down, and it all came down to that final stop, it appears. You had the pace, but it looks like that stop is what changed the game. Second place tonight, how you feeling?
I felt really good. I bought that car track combo like 10 minutes before, so it was just tons of fun to run. Um, Car is, oh my gosh, it is a handful, but it is that, like, we weren't really packed up a whole lot that race, but it was just fun to drive. And I would not have won that race even if I didn't make the mistakes. I made so many mistakes. I could have definitely caught up to him before the end with those new tires, but he was saving that fuel, and I would not have made it either way. So good job to Tyler. I cannot believe that he saved that much fuel. Massive respect to him.
And absolutely the first lap, that is, of course, the only one you were able to lead, although you were very close coming to the final set of pit stops. In the second lap, you went off from there. It was a very uphill climb for you to get back out front. How was it pushing to the limit every lap, trying to make it back up?
It was one of those weird car track combos where actually pushing the car wasn't too hard. I don't know how, but I mean, I just mean like I got comfortable pushing the car. Usually when I do these road races, I'm kind of like earlier braking, not really making my apex perfect, but like this is one of those like weird combos where like I felt comfortable kind of pushing the car a little bit, especially at this track where there's not really a whole lot of runoff. So it was just an all around fun race.
Absolutely pushing to the limit. The only way to make up 6 seconds under green. But it looked like it was about a dead even race until that final pit stop. And of course, it looks like you came down for tires. And is that the move that sort of set you apart from Tyler Williams? Because it looks like that is, of course, the gap that ended up staking around. And it looks like you had an incident on that last lap as well, which might have made it just a bit bigger.
Well, I think I made a lot of mistakes, just like braking a little bit too late. I think that was mostly it, just braking a little bit too late because you can't really, if you lock up the brakes or you brake too late, it's just gone. But I think I made that pit stop because I could kind of plan on it. I didn't know if he was saving fuel or if he was gonna pit too, so I was kind of just trying to get on like a different strategy, and obviously it wouldn't have mattered in the end or not. But it was definitely a lot of fun to go out there and give it a challenge.
Absolutely a challenging battle and putting Williams to the test. Second in the points right now in pole position. Going to grab you a few bonus points as well next week. Doubleheader at Winton. How do you feel going into that one?
I'm excited. I just bought the track with the 5 credits that I got for the poll, so we're gonna see how that one goes. I've not heard very pleasant things about that track, so it sounds like it might be a little bit more of a handful than what is it? What was it? Phillips Island? Phillips Island, yeah.
And absolutely going to be a handful next week, but putting it to the test here in the first race of the season. Chase Schaefer, runner-up tonight. Any final thoughts?
Follow at Monster Designs _ on Twitter and _ Monster Designs _ on Instagram. That's all I got.
And there we have it, Chase Schaefer, runner-up here. A great start to what will be a great season. Thank you for your time.
Yep, thank you.
We have it, Chase Schaefer, 19 machine, and our next driver in our final in the podium is a driver who had to fight lap after lap to get it. Harry Grindell, an incredible battle with Rudy Valentine there, clean, collected, and eventually you came in on top. How was it running 45 laps nonstop and getting that spot on the last lap?
It was very difficult. I was expecting a multiple stop race at first. I didn't realize that we just had a small amount of starting fuel and that wasn't the overall cap. So came in sort of lap 13. I thought because of that I wanted to sort of stay out a little bit longer just to get the fuel mileage, and ultimately that turned out to be the right call because I think Schaefer had to pit towards the end. But yeah, just suffered through the first stint. I spun in like the in a hairpin a few times just on my own because I'd be like at third throttle and the car would still loop itself, which was ridiculous, really. But yeah, just it was all about that second round, just keeping myself calm, keeping myself as collected as I possibly could be with a car that didn't want to cooperate like this. And yeah, just relied on attrition mainly. If Rudy hadn't had a couple of issues himself, he probably wouldn't have ended up back to me. But yeah, once we got within firing range, it was just trying to be calm, collected, and be ready for him to have moments because I knew that his right front tire was in a bad way. So just, tread carefully and wound out on top.
And certainly getting up to the top of the order here, third position, but we saw you running up and down all race long. And how was it managing the damage? Because certainly your car was banged up even if it was on pace toward the tail end.
Yeah, I didn't even know that my car was this bad, really. A couple of hits in the early stages of the race, and I knew that I had about 2.5 minutes of optionals I didn't take, but I thought, well, the car feels fine, so it'll be okay. But yeah, I mean, most of the race, I just forgot about the damage, really, because the car was driving fine, so it wasn't worth thinking about. And yeah, so just sort of put that in the back of my mind. It was more so the tire management, really, that I was trying to concentrate on. And then, yeah, I finished the race, got out, and I looked at the thing, I thought, oh my god, it was that bad?
And certainly an unbelievable amount of damage to keep going on and eventually getting that pass. And certainly a battle between cars with certain damage in certain ways, because seeing the telemetry there from Rudy Valentine's car, he had tires within the single digits, especially on that right front. Unbelievable. 3% tread remaining on the left side of the right front. That is absolutely impossible to keep going.
I don't know how he did that. The fact he finished that race at all with a right front tire that bad is honestly nothing short of a miracle. There was a couple of times as we sort of came up the hills and were going left, I was thinking, right, this car is ridiculously off pace, and it really was. So huge credit to him for finishing the damn race at all. That's just impressive in and of itself. And yeah, when we were fighting, he kept it off me, I kept it off him, and yeah, just an absolute incredible show of driving ability there for him to bring that car home.
Absolutely. Now, next week going to be a different format, double header at Winton. And it's going to be 25 laps apiece as far as I'm aware so far. So we do expect to see you back contending for podiums once again and perhaps going for some victories.
Yeah, I mean, here's hoping. I've never driven Winton before. I'm gonna have to buy the track, so we'll see. But yeah, I've always liked these supercars. This Vauxhall Insignia is a car that's awkward, but when it works, it's a great car. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Absolutely a great car, putting on a great race, and Harry Grindell driving one yourself, podium position tonight in the season debut for the OSRL Friday Night Supercars. Any final thoughts?
I mean, obviously, gonna have to shout out, sponsors, backers, all that, yourself for broadcasting, for Painter to put this series on. I've been wanting to race these cars for quite a while. It's been a year since I've last been able to race them, so huge shout outs there. Team Kamikaze, the brand that I represent, huge shout out to them, to Soyo Centered Hosting, our backers. They really help us with what we do. Kamikaze Design House and Hubert Magic Livery Design, both of those are kind of one and the same, really. But yeah, huge shout out to everybody that's helping me do what I do and is helping this series do what it does.
Absolutely, a lot of thanks for a driver who put on a great show, so thank you for that. Harry Grindell rounding out the podium with an incredible battle. Thank you once again for your time.
Thank you very much.
There we have it. That is your podium procedure for tonight's event. Let's get the timing and scoring off of your screen, as we only have one more driver to focus on as we go through your race results. What a performance there for Tyler Williams in the number 34 machine, the Australian, winning from his home track. And he put on a race to remember. As it looks like in the end of the day, we had about 9 drivers finishing this event, and every one of them putting the pedal to the metal and making it happen all the way through. And Tyler Williams, as we said beforehand, winning from second on the grid, and Chase Schaefer, your pole sitter, winning, of course, the second spot, but not getting the race through, as he was very close to the tail end of it. As you see River Page in the back, absolutely stuck in the guardrail. Harry Grindell, final driver on the podium, getting it by just a second over Rudy Valentine, and Jack Painter, the final driver, on the lead lap. From there on, Jonathan Oates, Josh Stoltz, and River Page, your final drivers not to have retired. Alex Anderson, your first retiree, and Wesley Person, Adam Sweet, and Trivan Davis, all retirees in this 13-car event. It was only one by one, and that one is Tyler Williams, and what a race he put on. We got to thank you all for watching tonight. It was a great show put on, and it looks like, in spite of the internet issues we had tonight and a lot of stuff that unfortunately didn't go our way during the middle of this, a great show put on from start to finish. The outages on the internet nonetheless don't put out the great show, as the OSRL Supercar Series on Friday nights coming back next week with Winton, and it's going to be a doubleheader. However, our next race live will be Charlotte with the Undecided Racing 80 here live with the FORL Cup Series on a Wednesday night you won't want to miss. They always put on great races. We hope to see you there as well. Gotta thank you all for watching tonight. Hope you enjoyed this broadcast. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe. It's always greatly appreciated, and we will see you all within the next week. Thank you all once again for stopping by. This has been Fireball Talks NASCAR Live, and we hope that you have a great night. Hope to see you once again whenever we are live.